We kind of delayed this video because I had to refilm the intro again because I obviously don't know how to film myself. But we are going to talk about positive emotions today. Like, what are they? There's a lot of them, so here we go. Okay, so positive emotions. Some of them are joy, gratitude, serenity, interest, awe, elevation, affection, hope, pride, amusement, inspiration, confidence, love, and happiness. In today's modern world, that's my really funny intro. A lot of people think that success equals happiness. Once I'm successful, I will be finally happy. And a lot of people think that once they have money, once they have a stable job, they will be much happier. And that is not true. Because a lot of times, happiness comes from relationships, like from PERMA. It's positive emotions, engagement, relationships, meaning, and accomplishments and achievement. So these people think that once they achieve something, they'll be fine. Once they achieve their job, their dream job, with their dream salary, they tend to neglect the other aspects of PERMA that we previously talked about, and that's why they're not happy. Take, for example, people on Wall Street. Young bankers are really miserable. 100% in their first year worked more than 80 hours per week. 80 hours per week, that's a lot. It'll be 16 hours a day. And in year 9, they still worked 80 hours a week. Almost. Over time, things didn't really change. They went down a little bit, but I mean, it's still the same. But most of them neglected hobbies and outside interests. And that's the part of PERMA that you're missing, You're missing the stuff that makes you want to be happy. They were not doing any of that because they were working 80 hours a week. And they tend to neglect their family and friends. Let's move on and attack a different profession. Lawyers. #1 highest earners. Right now, maybe second to only nurses. But also, they are #1 in nicotine abuse, #1 in alcohol abuse, and #1 in depression. Be a lawyer. I'm not saying don't be a lawyer. But just keep in mind to do all of the other stuff that comes with life too, not just your job. Same with doctors. Their median salary, it's so high. But only 6% have positive morale. 40% would have chosen a different career, and 60% would not recommend the career. So your doctor probably still doesn't want to be a doctor anymore. It's really stressful, and they don't have the time to take the time and make time for themselves. That was a lot of times in one sentence. Anytime you walk into a college, you find their brochures, and all the college students are smiling, they all have friends, they don't have any social problems because they're just pictures. And yes, pictures, are worth 1,000 words, but they aren't worth 1,000 of the mental problems that students overcome and sometimes don't overcome when they're in college. 90% felt overwhelming stress. Things felt very sad. Things were hopeless, too depressed to function. I mean, at that point, there's a problem. We need to take time for ourselves, and just take a weekend isn't long enough. We need to take time and focus on the things that make us happy, because all of the stuff around us is constantly making us really sad. Clearly, just look at the numbers. If you're going to a master's program, specifically an MBA, I am really proud to say that NYU is one of the more positive emotion colleges, also among Penn and Stanford. And in global job markets, it's Yahoo, Google, and some company called Live Simply. I don't really know. But turns out that their workers create higher quality, productivity, more dependability, and creativity. So that's good for us, yay! If you want to ever work for any of those companies. I didn't even know Yahoo still existed, but hey, it's all you. So what can you do to increase positive emotions? Because I've been talking about all of these emotions, and I didn't really give you a way to increase them. Breathing practice. A lot of people consider this, they do this in conjunction with their meditation. There's also a lot of breathing apps. I think Calm is one of them. Get 3 minutes, 2 times a day. It's really easy. Take a stopwatch and do it. Make time for others. Make time, do the dishes for your mom so that way you can have a little, chat with her about what's happening in your life. Maybe you haven't talked to her in a while. Give her a hug, say I love you. Express gratitude to those people that you are really thankful for. You can write a gratitude letter, gratitude journal. Just do something nice for them, and that will help you create, positive emotions in yourself, but also give positive emotions to someone else. Sharing is caring, y'all. There is no magic number on how many of these things you need to do, but just doing them can increase your positive affect, for the longer run. I mean, that's what we wanted. We want it to stay for so long. What is an emotion anyway? An emotion is a relatively brief conscious experience characterized by mental activity and a degree of pleasure or displeasure. And on this graph, you can see so many different kinds of emotions: anger, fear, disgust, but also happy ones: happiness, pride, love. And they, took an infrared camera and looked at when people were experiencing these emotions, how they light up your body, literally, is so cool. Like happiness, when people say they're happy from head to toe, they're not lying. They're happy from head to toe. And for pride, when people say they're so prideful, they puff out their chest a little bit, that's because their chest is actually getting warmer. Whereas depression, you see your body actually becomes a little bit cooler than your normal temperature. Anger, hot head, literally almost everything is in your head and in your fists. Maybe that's why people want to punch stuff. Anxiety, butterflies in your stomach, that's anxiety. Love, mostly the top half of your body, but as you can see, it's a lot more intense in your chest area than it is for happiness. Like if you compare the two, this is a really interesting graph. We could talk about it all day. Shame, for some reason, makes people look like Spider-Man. I do not know why, but it's cool. Positive affect versus negative affect. Positive affect are all of those emotions, that give you a positive feeling inside. In psychology, they like to use positive affect, or PA for short, and negative affect, NA for short, when they're describing a lot of the stuff in the brain. So if they can't pinpoint a single emotion, they'll just talk about it as a positive affect or a negative affect. Is positive affect associated with susceptibility to colds? Meaning, if you're more positive, are you immune to colds to a degree? And the answer is yes. If you have low negative affect on this graph, you have a higher percentage of a chance to get a cold. So just think about that for a second. If you're not channeling positive emotions, you can get a cold like much faster than someone who's channeling positive emotions. And I don't know what this means in relation to COVID, but this is just for regular colds. So I don't know if you can be positively positive, all of this, and then go, I won't get COVID-19, and then go and, party. Don't do that. But if you look at someone that has a high positive emotional style, they have susceptibility that's around the 15-20% mark, which is a lot lower than someone that does not have too much positive affect. I'm gonna pop this really cool looking graph up on here. So as you can see on the left, there are 3 pretty big emotions: enjoyment, hope, and anxiety, and how they can impact your study interest, your effort, irrelevant thinking, meaning like losing focus and thinking about other stuff, and self-regulation, self-control, self-discipline, stuff like that. So all of these, like enjoyment and hope, which are positive emotions, they increase your study interest, 0.62, 0.44. They increase your effort. They decrease irrelevant thinking, and they increase your self-regulation. Whereas if you look at anxiety, which is definitely a negative emotion, it decreases all of the good stuff and increases all of the bad stuff, which, it's not good. But if you want to be excited about a subject in school, like history and, language arts or math, you just need to create some kind of enjoyment for yourself in it. A lot of people at the top, a lot of entertainers and at the top money-wise, a lot of them are miserable, and it's because they have a lot of money. A lot of money brings a lot of responsibility, which takes a lot of time, which leaves little to zero time for you to do what you want to do. They're highly publicized, and so a lot of times this highly publicized issue can bring them a lot of depression, and they have to go through, because there's so many people, there's so many haters out there hiding behind their screens on social media that it's so bad, and that's why cyberbullying is a real-time issue these days. We love Simone Biles. So she said, people think you have to be serious to do a good job, but I think if you're having fun, you can do better. And she's 100% correct, because she's having fun while she's doing her job. And, not all of us can play pro football or, pro whatever sports there are out there. Soccer. What else do people like? Baseball. Yes. Try to incorporate the things you love into your everyday life. You don't have only one interest. You have multiple interests, and maybe you can somehow, channel that into your workflow, because you have to have the focus to peel yourself away from YouTube and go back to what you were doing. And that's the hard part. And that's why a lot of people procrastinate. We can have a whole thing on procrastination. Self-discipline is really hard to combine. It takes a lot of strength to do it, because routine and consistency is the key to maintaining a good habit. In the beginning, we talked a lot about all of the positive emotions. They can increase your performance in school. Like, Positive emotions can improves memory. You're better at creative problem solving. You can answer more questions. You can answer a higher percentage of questions more correctly. You're perceived as more appealing, and you're more likely to talk issues out. So if you're trying to be popular, which I do not recommend as a life goal to anyone, but if you want to make friends, just try to channel your positive emotions when you're meeting new people, and they will definitely pick up on that. It's like, body language, and you'll seem as more appealing, you'll seem more open, and more likely to talk to them, and that's how you're gonna make friends. If you seem approachable, that's how people are gonna go, hey, cool shirt. Also, it helps to have a Star Wars shirt on or something. But yeah, if you have a conversation starter and you're pretty positive, a lot of people will not hesitate to come and talk to you. And it's really cool, especially if you're gonna be freshmen in college and you need friends. That's a great way to make new friends. And I also want to end this video saying that if anyone at all is interested in taking the actual course, Yale has the Science of Wellbeing course on Course Hero. I'm going to link it in the description below. I heard it's super interesting. I haven't taken it because I'm taking the actual course at my school, so there's no point for me to take it, but I definitely recommend you check it out. I also hope that you're doing really well this week, at least as well as you can. I definitely enjoy making these videos. I really look forward to it. It's a lot of fun for me. I just don't have a lot of time to do it, so it's like 11 p.m. now and I'm doing this. So it works itself out. But I'm going to use this as my final project for the Science of Happiness because my TAs really love my idea. So I can't wait for the whole world to see it. But yeah, I'll see you next week. And next week we're talking about relationships. So we're gonna do that next week. It'll be fun. I hope that's a really helpful one for everyone that's going through adolescence right now. And also anyone who's not. Just in general, I hope it's helpful. So I'll see you next week. Hi, welcome back. My brother says I need an intro song, so if anyone has any ideas whatsoever, and I will not tolerate the song Happy by that guy. What's that guy's name?
Will something?
No, that's wrong. Pharrell Williams. I hate that song. I extremely dislike that song. We're not going to use that song. We're going to use something...
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
He said Bill Nye the Science Guy. We're not using that either.
100%.
I'm gonna start filming. I swear, you should have an intro song. I wish I got that on camera.
What? Represent! Rishi, you're just giving me lines now. Rishi hopes everyone is well in the event of the coronavirus.